listening to the Entertainment Club with Anjuval.
Bringing you the best of the tri-state and Caribbean entertainment.
Fake friends, me no keep them. So me go suppress the race and delete them. Fake friends, me no keep. No, me no do it them. Them no come. Me see it long time, you no real from the start. Me think I dirty ways, me never know a dirty heart. Smile on your face, but what's in your thoughts? What's in your thoughts? Jealous and malicious, some must feel the wrath. Some of them vicious, corrupted and dark. Mama me tell me what she road when me walk, but me never did a listen. But me too in the park. Hey, them wicked and a joke thing. Them turn around and them act like them a poor thing. And sometimes me just act like me no know still. Sleep with two eye, them open, them can't hang me up. With job by me side, no can't break me. Psalms 91 when me chant daily. Be my light, he direct me through the valley of the shadow, he guided me. Long time you no real from the start. Me think I dirty ways, me never know a dirty heart. Smile on your face, but what's in your thoughts? What's in your thoughts? Jealous and malicious, some must feel the wrath. Some of them vicious, corrupted and dark. Mama did tell me what she road when me walk, but me never did a listen. But me too in the park. Them no real, them fake like wash over gold. Newness rub off true color and fold. Bye bye baby, story been told. Get out of my life, cause you don't play your role. Act like them with you, stab you on your back. A Joe does that. You tell me now, who does that? Like you take me for a fool or what? Guess what? Fake friends, me no keep them. Some me go suppress the race and delete them. Fake friends, me no keep. No, me no do it, them expensive, them no come cheap. No, fake friends, me no keep them. Some me go suppress the race and delete them. Fake friends, me no keep. No, me no do it, them expensive, them no come cheap. Me see long time, you no real from the start. Me think a dirty ways, me never know a dirty heart. Smile on your face, but what's in your thoughts? What's in your thoughts? Fall for no sit down and laugh, but that nah go what my God a guide when me walk. Anyhow, in the past, in the past, fake friends me no keep them. Delete them. It might take big mania. You don't know no real friends to the end. Don't know, say.
So I have a team based all over the world. Everybody works from a home office.
Money.com makes
You're
it really
listening to
easy
the
for them to
Entertainment Club
collaborate
with
as if
Anjuval.
they were in the same room.
You're listening to the Entertainment Club with Anjuval.
Bringing you the best of the tri-state and Caribbean entertainment.
You nah beg nobody nothing. You walk fi where you want. So listen up to me. Can't live while you feel walk out and talk up and patch yourself.
Introducing the Entertainment Club Talk Show with your host Anjuval.
And yo people, welcome to a brand new show. I name Anjuval.
Current affairs and entertainment news, reviews, and interviews.
All we in Jamaica we know to be seen in a very negative light.
What you are doing right now can be a component as part of a larger sum.
We're too tribal, and because of the size of our population, we're very tribal. So it's either GLP or PMG.
Join us on Wednesdays 9 to 10 p.m. on Styles FM. Come for the talk, stay for the music. Premiering January 2020 on Styles FM. Listen globally on www.stylesfm.com.
45 between me and Anjo are decades and decades of underdevelopment and stagnation Jamaica experience.
The Entertainment Club Talk Show is more than just entertainment. You're listening to the Entertainment Club with Anjuval.
Bringing you the best of the tri-state and Caribbean entertainment.
All right. Good evening, good night, good morning, and welcome wherever you are listening in.
to Stars FM 96.1, 96.5, 96.7. I'm your boy Anjuval, and I'm in the building for another episode of the Entertainment Club. It's a new month. It's Wednesday, April 1st, 2020. Boy, time I fly, man. Look how far we're getting at the year. We definitely want a restart for 2020, but nevertheless, we're in the building and we're thanking the Almighty. We're thanking the powers that be, thanking the universe for us to see another week of bringing you the best of the tri-state and Caribbean entertainment. St. Mary, St. Anne, St. Thomas, Portland, what's up, what's up, what's up? It's your talk show time. It's your boy Anjuval, and I'm in the building. What them say? What them say? What them say? Out and stunting. Styles FM ready for the rumping. Alright, so it's curfew time in Jamaica, so no one should be on the road right about now. So everyone should be locked in their houses, listening to Styles FM. Tell your friend to tell a friend to listen to Styles FM because the world is listening. This is how you listen to entertainment. I'm your boy Anjuval, and welcome to another episode of the Entertainment Club, bringing you the best of the tri-state and Caribbean entertainment. Well, tonight I'll be bringing you the best of Bob Andy. Reggae icon Bob Andy passed just last week, and I will be doing the first half of this show as a segment, as a tribute to Bob Andy, one of Jamaica's greatest reggae icon and legend. In fact, when he was alive, he was dubbed the living legend. Usually Jamaicans tend to highlight their reggae acts after they have passed, but Bob Andy is one of those individuals who have been recognized before his passing, and tonight Styles FM will be paying tribute to Bob Andy. Sir Jacko, I know you know what's up with this, you know. Last week I gave them some throwback, some one-hit wonder, and this week is all about giving you a tribute to Bob Andy. So I think it's only fitting that we do that just this week. And of course, you don't know, you're listening to Styles FM, the world that listens. This is how you listen to entertainment right here on Styles FM. Welcome to another episode. I'm your boy Anjuval. Alright, so this week, great news coming out of the world. Great news coming out of the world. We're alive and it's a brand new month, and I think that's the greatest news that we're counting down 2020. I think this is one of the years that many people would like to see just wrap up and get done with. Parents are not so happy with kids staying at home. I mean, of course, you know, I'm not one of those parents that is complaining. I'm not one of them parents that's complaining right now. I'm enjoying the time off. I don't know, staying at home with wifey and the family. So I won't even complain, honestly. I won't even complain. It's just that they're backed up on schoolwork sometimes, and that's the only thing. But people in Jamaica, we're asking y'all to stay off the roads because I hear say someone will move unruly. I see a news article the other day, in fact a news clip, where a vendor, I think in downtown Kingston, saying that, boy, me have to dead, you know, that's true. But you can't be selfish. And people when they're ready for dead yet, you want them for dead. The count is now in its 40s in Jamaica. Just a few days ago, it was 35. Now it's climbing. And of course, you don't know, it's all about state of emergency, disaster zone, curfew. I think between 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Somebody complain and say, boy, yo, the Prime Minister curfew. If I did dopey them, but you'll be surprised to know that there's active nightlife in Jamaica, and so that, you know, people will still sneak out and go to the bars and the nightclubs and enjoy nightlife. So I think he's definitely putting this in place just to kind of clamp down on that. We want to flatten the curve around the world right now. New York has become the epicenter. The United States is seeing it right now. It's feeling the brunt of this coronavirus, so it's nothing to take lightly and nothing to joke about. Close people of mine, close friends of mine are infected with this dangerous disease. Like, seriously, it is not at my doorstep, but I have friends who are actually sick, and friends of friends and very close friends who are being affected by this coronavirus. I don't live in fear, but I also have to be cautious. Thank you all for tuning in, and welcome to another episode of the Entertainment Club. It is Wednesday, April 1, April 1st, the 1st of April, whichever way you want to say it. You know what I mean? All right, so guys, tonight I'll be paying tribute to the big man himself, Bob Andy, as I mentioned before. And I'll be dropping some Bob Andy tracks and giving you some facts about Bob Andy. Also, I'll be giving you 17 or maybe 20. I just throw 3 in there. 20 interesting facts about Jamaica. Because everyone is quarantined in right now. It's a curfew, so therefore you have nowhere to go but to sit and listen to Styles FM 96.1, 96.5, 96.7. St. Mary, St. Anne, St. Thomas, Portland. What's up? www.stylesfm.com. The world listens globally anywhere you are in the world right now. Welcome, and of course, thank you for tuning in. Bringing to you the best of the tri-state live out of the United States, connecting in Jamaica. I'm your boy, Anjuval, and tonight, my first segment is all about Bob Andy. All right, so his name is his government name is Keith Ainsley Anderson, and as you all know, he's a Jamaican singer-songwriter and producer, born the 28th of October 1944 in Kingston, Jamaica, and he died on March 27, 2020 in Kingston, Jamaica. Now, we're going to talk about his early life right now, right? So, Anderson was born in Kingston in October, as I mentioned before, where his mother worked at Up Park Camp. At the age of 7, he moved to live with his grandmother in Westmoreland. And that's for the people who are not so familiar with Jamaica. I know that a lot of people who love reggae music probably listen to Styles FM worldwide, and a lot of Caribbean nationals listen to Styles FM worldwide. Y'all know where Westmoreland is, of course. After his grandmother died, his mother gave him away, and he was subject to beatings at the hands of his adoptive parents. So you can see that Bob grew up being an abusive child, being abused as a child. Being a victim of abuse, of child abuse. So you see sometimes in the music industry, a lot of these artists pretty much, came from very humble beginnings and from very poor backgrounds. And some of them, you probably be surprised to hear that they were sexually abused and they were physically abused, they were emotionally abused. So Bob wasn't short of that in terms of beatings from the hands of his adoptive parents. So after several years, he returned to Kingston to help look after one of his siblings. But just to escape the beatings from the mother, he tried to get himself placed in the Maxfield Park children's home, and not many kids would want to run away from home even though they're being physically abused. But Bob says that, hey, I'm tired of this, I'm not going to take it no more. And then he tries to get himself into the Maxfield Park children's home by telling them that his mother died. However, a few years later, I think they both ended up in court, in family court, where he was made a ward of the state and he was returned to Maxfield Park. At home, he taught himself to play the piano, and he began singing in the Kingston Parish Church choir. So he used to go to church, even though you see him sporting dreadlocks though as an adult. Back then, I think he chose to walk that path of, following the Rastafarian faith. But when, of course, almost every kid in Jamaica, we grew up in church. So he was a part of the Kingston Parish choir, and he was also involved in the local scout troop where he met Tyrone Evans, with whom he formed the Binders. Now we're going to talk more about the Binders later on from this. His first solo hit record in 1967, I've Got to Go Back Home, was his very first hit. And tonight, as I say, it is all about paying tribute to Bob Andy. This one is his first hit. Back in 1967. I've got to go back home. Yes, I.
This couldn't be my home. It must be somewhere else.
So learn some history right now about Bob Andy, right? That's what this show is all about. The first segment, as a matter of fact. And I know some of y'all really, really and truly, remember this one, especially me. Because I remember my father on Sunday afternoons, when rice and peas are cooked, I think Bob Clark used to play them things on Irie FM. My father used to whistle to the melody of these songs. So thanks to my father for really putting me onto these type of music, So I'm here tonight to give you a little flashback, a little history of Bob Andy, the great legend, the reggae icon Bob Andy.
Lord, I can't get no close to it. Can't get no food to eat. I can't
know the old folks know this one. The old folks, they know this one. The younger generation, like people were born after the 80s or maybe 90s, late 90s, y'all probably hear it because sound system usually played. And every corner in Jamaica, especially in the inner city and the areas where quote unquote poor people, but poor is a mindset. So in the slums, we always hear these type of music, especially in the early juggling. And Bob, a pioneer, Bob, a legend. You know what I mean? And we're going to learn so much more about Bob Andy tonight. I got to go back home. His first hit back in 1967. Alright, so Bob Andy was one of the founding members of the group called the Paragons, along with Tyrone Evans, who he met during his teenage years, while he was involved in the scout troop back in Kingston. And he also formed this group with Howard Barrett and also with John Holt. Did y'all know that? John Holt later joined the group briefly before being replaced by Vic Taylor. No, I don't sure what happened between John and Bob at the time, but I think after John was replaced by Vic Taylor, then I think Bob exited the group. So Andy left after the Holt. John Holt rejoined and he worked for Studio One. So after exiting the group, he went to Studio One, where he was delivering records and he was doing some songwriting before embarking on his solo career. So he was a part of a group. Usually, a lot of these icons I realized started out as part of a group. So it is not unusual for these solo acts to start out as being a part of a reggae band or a reggae group, and they were doing just like Bob Marley. Just like Bob Marley and the Wailers. Bob them start out as the group with Bob Marley and the Wailers, even though he still kept the name Bob Marley and the Wailers. But of course you don't know Bonnie and Peter. They went their separate ways after that. So it's not unusual for that. All right. So his first solo hit, as I just played, was recorded back in 1967. I Got to Go Back Home. And that one was followed by Desperate Lover. And then right after Desperate Lover, he did Unchained. So this was his second follow-up hit to I Got to Go Back Home. Giving you the musical history of Bob Andy right now, coming to you live on Styles FM. When you're babies. A lot of artists cover many of Bob Andy's tracks. Desperate Lover. Alright, so that was his follow-up hit back in the 60s, Desperate Lover. And then he came with this one. This one is another popular one as well, that I know a lot of Jamaicans know this one as well, because at the end of the day, you can't say you don't know Bob Andy track them. On a serious note, you can't really say as a Jamaican who enjoy reggae music and especially old school type music. And I know that he has passed, that a lot of people have become, familiar with his music and just kind of reintroduce some Bob Andy tracks on the radio, or he didn't have much music videos anyway. So back in the day, if it wasn't for radio, you probably wouldn't know who Bob Andy was. So here's another one. This one is called Unchained. This one was released between 66 and 68 for Studio One in Kingston, Jamaica. In fact, this is from his 1970 album, Bob Andy's Songbook, Unchained. This is just my tribute to Bob Andy, you know what I mean? Gotta appreciate the great man, his work, his legacy. Enough of we parents, you know what I mean? I don't need to say it, but you know me, I go with it, right? Yeah, enough of we make off a Bob Andy, you know? Rent-a-tile days in a dance hall. A great writer, great producer, reggae icon. All right, so apart from recording his independent songs and penning his own lyrics, he also made a few. He has a few writing gigs with a few popular artists in Jamaica, and Ken Booth is one of those that he has written songs for in the past. And y'all probably know this one, I Don't Want to See You Cry, but I was introduced to this one just recently, I Don't Want to See You Cry by Ken Booth, and I want to feature this one as well. He has also written for Marcia Griffiths, and we also have songs that they have done together as a duet, and they have toured England, and you know what I mean, they have really, you know, made their mark back in the day as the Marcia and Bob duo. And then of course later on Marcia went on to the I Trees, which actually split up that group. But right now here is Ken Booth with I Don't Want to See You Cry, written by Bob Andy. Just giving you some hits of Bob Andy right now, and of course you don't know this one a lot of people didn't notice that he actually produced a lot of tracks. And he has written for many artists, as I've mentioned before, and this is just one of them.
I'm gonna tell you goodbye.
From Ken Booth's album, Mr. Rocksteady.
Don't want to see you cry, babe.
Ska Vibe.
I'm leaving you behind, but it's just for a time. Not my wish that we must part. Don't worry, baby, I won't break your heart. I'm going to a faraway land. I'm going to make life for me and you. Please understand.
Just my first half hour, giving tribute, paying tribute to a great icon, Bob Andy. He wrote this one for Ken Booth. I Don't Want to See You Cry. Alright, so Ken Booth, I Don't Want to See You Cry, taken from one of his popular albums back in the day. Now, Bob also penned lyrics for Griffiths. Yeah, song like, I didn't even know this until a few years ago, Feel Like Jumping and Truly. And these are songs that we really grew upon. And as I said before, if you appreciate reggae music, authentic reggae music, then you would definitely know that Bob Andy is not just a normal individual. And a lot of people just really get reintroduced to Bob Andy since his passing. But people, when we say it's a legend and he's an icon, these tracks have proven that. Here is Marcia Griffiths with Feel Like Jumping, written by Bob Andy. Pull that one from the top again. Hear the hands, man. Yo! I'm happy that I can appreciate this type of music, you know? Honestly, I appreciate them. Even more so than a lot of these nowadays dancehall tracks and reggae tracks. Seriously.
I feel like jumping.
Marky, I'm an 80s baby, but come on. If you didn't know, now you know. This one was written by Bob Andy. of Studio One from the album Feel Like Jumping, co-written by Jackie Me Too. And of course, you don't know Keith Anderson, aka Bob Andy.
Like laughing.
All right, so that one, of course, is one of the many tracks that Bob penned for Marcia, and I want to introduce this second one to you right about now. Paying tribute to a reggae legend, a reggae icon, Bob Andy. All right, so those were two tracks. Well, I played three tracks so far that penned by Bob Andy. Giving tribute, paying tribute. Of course, you don't know, to the icon, the legend, right here on Styles FM. This is the Entertainment Club Talk Show. Come for the talk and stay for the music. 96.1, 96.5, 96.7 on your FM dial. Of course, St. Mary, St. Anne, St. Thomas, Portland. www.stylesfm.com. The world listens. We'll be right back. We're going for a quick break. We have more to come right after the break. On the phone until you come back then. All right. So I don't need to play my my intro. I just need to play the actual track, like the version I normally play.
Right. Come on, play your auntie.
Promo before you come back. Okay, right. Yeah. Trying to give Bob him credit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Alright, so after me tell you when.
Yeah, man.
You're listening to the Entertainment Club with Anjuval.
Bringing you the best of the tri-state and Caribbean entertainment.
Welcome back to the second half of the show. I'm your boy Anjuval, and welcome back to the Entertainment Club, bringing you the best of the tri-state in Caribbean entertainment. We always say that. Since we started this show, we've been featuring tri-state artists and giving tri-state artists the exposure in Jamaica and globally. Now, for the past couple of weeks, I've been doing the show a little bit different. And tonight is no different, because tonight I'm paying tribute to a reggae icon and a reggae legend, Bob Andy. Just trying to get back my earpiece in, you know. So for the first half of the show, I focused on Bob's career. When I say Bob, I'm not talking about Bob Marley. Just in case you just tuned in, I'm talking about Bob Andy. And you know, it's great to do my research and to go back and check out some of his past hits. Last week I gave you one hit wonders, right? And tonight I'm giving you the great of Bob Andy. Now, before we went to the break, we just pretty much just played a few tracks that one of them I think he co-wrote with another great prolific writer out of Jamaica. And a lot of people didn't know. I mean, at first when the news broke, a lot of people thought that he was actually Marcia Griffith's ex. And no, we had to clarify that to say no, they weren't together. They were as a duo. I don't know their personal life, but they were together as a duo. And he wrote Feel Like Jumping and Truly for Marcia back in the day. Now, in the early 1970s, he recorded with Marcia Griffiths as Bob and Marcia, initially for Studio One, but later under producer Harry J. Johnson's tutelage. They had a major UK hit back in the day with Young, Gifted, and Black. When I was growing up and hearing these songs, I didn't even know, because I didn't even know I was going to be involved in music like that. I know I wanted to be in video production and television, but in terms of being involved in music, I didn't know I was going to be involved in music like this. So therefore, listening to some of these tracks again after maybe 10, 15, 20 years, it is almost like nostalgia. It brings me back to them times, as I tell you, on a Sunday afternoon, sitting on the veranda watching my dad shine and polish him shoes, and while him whistle and hear mom in the kitchen blending up the coconut. Well, them times used to probably use a blender or a grater, getting, you know what I mean, the Sunday dinner ready, or juice, carrot juice, you know what I mean, because my father is kind of, you know, not that he's a Rastafarian, but he likes his carrot juice and like him fish, you know what I mean, he doesn't eat pork, he'll eat his chicken, you know what I mean. So these tracks kind of remind me of, you know, childhood days, and it is good that I've had these moments, and I thank Bob and I pay tribute to him tonight. Here's another one from Bob and Marcia.
Young, gifted and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream. To be young,
Gifted and Black. They toured the UK with this one back in the day. Produced by Harry J. Johnson. And I have some information to give you about Harry J. That's gonna make you laugh, right? Major hit in the UK.
young, gifted and black. Must begin to
Definitely.
This quest has just begun. When you feel really low, yeah, there's a great truth you should know. When you're young, gifted and black, your soul's intact.
Yes, when you're young, gifted and black, your soul's intact. You keep focused. Never lose sight of what you're destined for, right? All right, so that was Young, Gifted, and Black. Just a little taste of what they actually, produced back in the day. And of course, these songs are still being played on vinyl across Europe, and I'm sure in England itself. So for the UK market, this orchestra, this track, as a matter of fact, was actually, it had an orchestral backing on this one that was added just because of the UK market. And I think it was the feel that, that the British fans, they like to hear back in the day. It wasn't 100% authentic ska or reggae. And in fact, a lot of people didn't even know that the sound of reggae came about as a mistake in terms of an echo. And of course, Sir Jacko, I know you know more about the origin of the music than I do, because I'm just a youngster trying to learn as much as you do, Mr. Musical Connoisseur. But reggae was almost by accident. So this one had some orchestral backing in it just to kind of fit the European market, and I understand that. And if you notice, a lot of Bob Marley's music as well has that feel, has that fusion of European touch. And Chris Blackwell even admitted to it, to say that he had to put it in there because of the market. So it really has some form of sound and a vibe that really, spoke to our souls back in the day, and it still speaks to us today. So Bob and Marcia as a duo did Young, Gifted and Black, right? So for the UK market, they did that remake of it, the reviving of it, adding the orchestral backing of that. Bob and Marcia duo spent time in UK promoting the song, touring with Elton John, and they also did some stints with Gilbert O'Sullivan as well. Now, when the tour ended, listen to this. This is a very interesting information still, When the tour ended, they were still not getting any money. And I think almost every artist back in the day used to complain about doing tours, especially the Wailers and Bob Marley. They were doing these tours and weren't getting any money. And people were telling them that their producer, Harry J, he got the cash. Now, they returned to Jamaica, and Andy said, and I think Andy's kind of like a very sarcastic, or probably sometimes he's straightforward and will use sarcasm to kind of sugarcoat it a little bit. He says that when he left Jamaica the first time, going on tour, Harry didn't have a studio, but when he came back from the tour, Harry had a studio and a brand new Benz. So where did all this money come from? Even in Harder They Come, we see where, the producer was trying to rob the artist blind. So back in the day, it was more of a, putting out your music to the wider world and not really, sharing the benefits, sharing the income, sharing the money. So nowadays, people kind of get wise up now. Artists start producing their own thing and ask to be on the credits. Sometimes back in the day, artists just get performers rights and credits, and now they're getting composers credit, writers credit, co-producers in terms of executive producers and so on. So people kind of get wise up in the industry right now. Back in the day, I don't think they really wanted money per se. They were just doing it because they loved it, So he continued without Johnson's involvement and returned to the UK, where he recorded Piper with Griffiths, and they actually toured again. Pied Piper gave them another top 20 hit, but the duo dissolved when Griffiths joined the I3. So that duo broke up after she went with I3s, and I can almost imagine what was happening back then. They weren't making any money from this, and then Bob was making money. Bob had a great manager behind him, Chris Blackwell, and he said, okay, come on, let's get 3 beautiful little birds to sing by my doorsteps every morning. And of course, it was Marcia, Rita, and Judith. So therefore, they all just formed the I3s, and they did their own recording as the I3s as well on vinyl. So it is great, and I think that's where, that's how Marcia transitioned from being the duo with Bob, Andy, into becoming a part of the I3s that toured with Bob Marley across the globe. And of course, Bob Marley is still one of the top selling reggae artists of all times. And, we just have to lift our hats off to these artists that paved the way for many of us to even be recognized, because reggae music put Jamaica on top. Tony Rebel sing that song there a few years ago. All right, so here is To Experience from Bob Andy himself. And then I'm going to play a To Experience from Barrington Levy, because Barrington covered this song a few years later. Here is the original version of To Experience by Bob Andy. Yo, every time I hear them songs, man, it reminds me of back in the day, yo.
She doesn't want me around.
The original version. So the youngies them were here, Barrington Levy version. This is where Barrington got it from, right?
I think she wants a clown.
Much covered song, notably by Barrington Levy. Bob was one of Studio One's biggest talents. Learn that here. He was a writer with a great ear for melody as well as a top singer. After this track, you don't know, so the man deserve international fame, and he did get it. He did get it. Studio One vibes.
She hates the side.
Production of Cox and Dodd.
Because I turn her off or down.
Bam.
She's always saying we were meant.
Alright, so that was the original version of To Experience. And I know a lot of you youngies know this version right here. When I was younger, I really thought that Barrington Levy was the original writer for this one.
She doesn't want me around. She's got something to hide.
I could have been fooled.
I think she wants a clown, someone to take for a ride. But I keep telling her I'm too experienced to be taking for a stroll. Too experienced for someone to rock and roll. I'm too experienced to be taking for a ride. And I know it's not my foolish pride.
Alright, so that was To Experience by Barrington Levy, who adopted the original track from Bob Andy. So you see, a lot of people cover his tracks, and if you don't really know your musical history, and if you don't really know these music of the past, then you might think that, oh, them artists come up with them great lyrics and them great melody and them great vibe. But Bob, hey boy, you'll be sadly missed. Sending love and light out to his family, his fans, his friends, his colleagues. Bob Andy, sending tribute.
People see me acting strange. They might say it's a burning shame, but the people don't.
Did you know that Bob toured Africa for the very first time in 2005? I didn't even know this. That he didn't even get a chance to tour Africa back in the day, and he actually toured in mid 2000. Well, I can't even say mid 2000 still. I just say 2005. When we say mid 2000, we talk about like 2010, because we're in 2020. But he performed at the Bob Marley 60th birthday concert in Addis Ababa, and while in Ethiopia, he also sang for the President's Palace and gave benefit concerts to 12 Tribes organization at the Rastafari movement settlement of Shashamane. And I learned about Shashamane a few years ago. You see, it's good when you really read, you know. And, you know, well, for me, I always pour around a lot of Rastafarians still, so I know a little bit, and I'm still learning, all right? Now, the Jamaican government conferred the Order of Distinction in the rank of command, the CD, on Keith Bob Andy Anderson on October 2006 for his contribution to the development of Jamaican music. So hats off to the government back then in 2006 for recognizing icon and the legend. In March 2015, Andy was mugged on Mona Road in St. Andrew and robbed of Jamaican $50,000 and 2 cell phones. The assailant slashed his arm with a knife in the attack. So your sister boy, I bet you say them you they never know said it Baban did that. Because artists don't really get attacked in Jamaica and all. You know what I mean? I don't think celebrities on a whole get much attack in Jamaica, especially so well, things kind of changed still. So let me not say that. I left Jamaica, I think 2012. So let me not say that. And things have changed drastically since. So, but back then, as a known person, you could just walk probably almost in any community in Jamaica and feel safe. You know what I mean? So I don't know. So Bob got disillusioned with the industry back in 1987 and put his music career on a hold, and after taking up creative dancing with the National Dance Theatre Company. This is what I didn't know until I read his bio, that he was a dancer by profession. You know what I mean? Concentrated on his career as an actor as well, starring in the films Children of Babylon in 1980 and The Mighty Quinn in 1989. And I know that a lot of people on the east side of Jamaica, especially St. Mary and Portland, will remember The Mighty Quinn. He relocated to London, where he worked as a producer and recorded with Mad Professor, and he later moved to Miami. In 1997, he released a brand new album, Hanging Tough, produced by Willie Lindo. So you see that Bob, he has been doing crazy work. He has always been involved in the arts. And of course, it's glad to see that he has been involved in the performing arts. And his latest album was released back in 1997. So in 1997, he was named one of music's living legends as the Reggae Soca Awards in Miami, and was presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award by 1999 at the Bob Marley Day Festival in South California. Rockers Magazine also honored Bob with a Lifetime Achievement Award in Kingston back in 1989, as he did in the Canadian Reggae Music Awards in Toronto for 1991. Bob Andy, rest in peace, walk good, my brother. You're listening to Styles FM, the world listens right here. I just finished my segment, my tribute to the great, the icon, the legend, Bob Andy. And it is time for me to jump right now over, because I got 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, maybe like about 9 minutes in the building right now. I'm trying to keep on track, stay on track today, try to be punctual with the time. Don't want to be tardy with being too late to end the show. But I want to share 17 interesting facts about Jamaica. And these are very, very, some of them I kind of filter out, because some of them I don't think, really goes for Jamaicans. And I have my Jamaican passport still, and my Jamaican birth certificate still, so I'm still a Jamaican, even though I'm living abroad. 17 interesting facts about Jamaica. Jamaica is the 140th most populous country in the world. And that is, 140 on the scale is not bad. But Jamaica is always being recognized. So if it's not sports, if it's not music, if it's not crime, if it's not politics, I don't know what it is. But Jamaica, we're always shining. It's like a beacon right there in your face. Proud to be a Jamaican. All right, so here goes. The original inhabitants of Jamaica cultivated corn and yams. Today, Jamaica is famous for cultivating marijuana. Well, I add that in. Sugarcane, bananas, and mangoes, none of which are indigenous. Well, did you know that? I didn't even know that. I know that the national dish, ackee, didn't come from Jamaica. But sugarcane, banana, and mangoes, they weren't discovered on the island. And I don't know who wrote this, but it could have been fake news. But these things were imported. Banana, sugar, and mangoes. And we love mango. We love banana. And we love sugarcane. All right. In 1988, Jamaica was the first tropical country to send a bobsledding team to the Winter Olympics, and we all know Cool Runnings, and that movie, which pretty much just kind of tell us a little bit about our history getting involved in the Winter Olympics, a country that we have summer type conditions, summer type weather all year round. How is it that we send men sailing down tunnel of ice? How is it that we do that, man? Jamaica, boy, may I tell you. So back in 1988, yes, we were the first tropical country to send a bobsled team to participate in the Winter Olympics. Jamaica is home to over 200 species of exotic orchid. And the reason why I add this one in is because I love orchids, but only 73 of which are indigenous to the island. Now, 200 different species, and only 73 were found on the island as being there and the others weren't imported. Well, the 73 wasn't imported and the others were. All right, so with 3 winners and 3 runners up in the Miss World competitions, Jamaica truly does boast some of the most beautiful women in the world, and that's not a lie because Fab Five been telling us about these Jamaican women.
Now every country say them have nice woman, but some not so nice, you must understand. Well, Jamaican woman are sugar and salt, and I
yes, I
about them all.
Jamaican woman a sugar and salt.
Some of them are chin and we make you ball. Jamaican woman a sugar and salt.
All right, so Jamaican Cool Herc, y'all know him, right? He's from New York, Bronx. He's responsible for starting up rap music in the United States. A Jamaican started rap music. So for some of you, I know you always have a little street side debate. Sometimes Google can give you information, not all the time. You know, not at all times Google is accurate, but definitely Cool Herc. He's definitely a Jamaican, and he started rap and hip hop music back in the Bronx of New York City. Big up to the Bronx. A lot of Jamaicans be living in the Bronx, of course. You know, they have 2 sides of Bronx. They have the South Bronx and the Uptown Bronx. And usually the Spanish them live at the South Bronx, and then Uptown Bronx saturated by Caribbean people, especially Jamaicans. Trust me, a lot. All right, so AT&T copied Jamaica's telephone system. Wow. You heard that? AT&T copied Jamaica's telephone system back in the day. So the system that AT&T using right now, or a template, back in the day, they copied it from Jamaica. So Jamaica, we've been setting trends, brethren. We've been setting trends, right? So while it may be widely spoken, Jamaican Creole or Patois is not a written language. And I can understand why it's not a written language. Because, you know, you ever try to write Patois yet? It's one of the most difficult things to write. Patois is one of the because some of the words you after even spelling it, you sometimes can't even pronounce it. But then again, that's our dialect, that's our tongue. That's it. Natural, Jamaica, Creole, and Patois. We speak more Patois anyway. Jamaica is one of the highest numbers of rum bars per square mile. And no people having withdrawal right now, or they got to stock up and bring home. A pleasant surprise for many visiting rum connoisseurs. Can you imagine this? That Jamaica has one of the highest numbers of rum bars per square mile. So how do people in my cope right now with this curfew? I don't know. All right, here is this next fun fact. The island of Jamaica has one of the highest numbers of churches per capita in the world. So in other words, almost next to a rum bar, there is a church. Pastor! Brother John! I always hear this when I was growing up, though, that, you know, next to every rum bar, there is a church. And people, it is not a joke. Anyhow, Jamaica has more multiple life births, and I shared this with my wife last night, wherein the mother delivers 2 or more offspring than any other country in the world. Meaning that when you go give birth, it's either you come up with a triplet, quadruplet, a twin, or sometimes, you know what I mean? So that's just crazy, that multiple live births. Jamaica. And then the population is staggering. It's just there 2.9. It's just 2.9, almost 3. I think it's over into the 3 million, though. I think it's over into the 3 million, honestly, because not everybody that is living in Jamaica that is on the census card. I don't think everybody put them name on the census card, and everybody have a birth paper in Jamaica. So therefore, I think it's in the 3 million, though. But that's crazy. Did you know that reciting the Lord's Prayer is a mandatory part of the morning proceedings in all public schools in Jamaica? Well, I mean, they're all church governed. When I say church governed, meaning that they're always tied to a church, almost every school in Jamaica, apart from some of the private ones. But even when it's private, you still have either Anglican or you'll have the Catholics, or, you know what I mean, or so on. So I went to a Catholic primary school, and I don't remember if we recited the Lord's Prayer. I think we did the Hail Mary prayer. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Anybody that went to St. Richard's Primary back in Kingston can probably kind of remind me. But anyhow, chicken. This one is a fact. This one is definitely a fact. Chicken is probably the true favorite among Jamaican meats. And people who can't deny that one. They say almost every Sunday almost 2 to 3 days out of the week apart from Sundays, we are eating chicken, whether chicken back, curry chicken, fried chicken, you name it, but chicken. And that's how we say no one got gut. Tiger, no one got gut.
See? Someone say, don't friend.
We love our bellies, trust me.
No one got God, no one got belly. Licky, licky. No one.
We're very hospitable too. You know what I mean? We're very hospitable too. In 1962, Jamaica was the first Caribbean country to gain independence from the United Kingdom. And I reserve my comments. I will hold that back for now because I'm not talking politics. But anyhow, according to history, it says in 1962, Jamaica was the first Caribbean country to gain independence from the United Kingdom. Despite claiming independence, Jamaica chose to remain a member of the Commonwealth. Therefore, the Queen Elizabeth II is still their head of state. And that's where I would kind of say, okay, then are we really independent? Even though we still want to be a part of a Commonwealth region, a group of people, a team, and still having the Queen to be the head of state? Anyhow, let's go to music now. Worth a whopping $22 million, Shaggy is the richest living reggae artist. If Bob Marley were still alive, analysts predicted that he would be worth $130 million. And this is what I'm saying, if he was alive, you know. So not because he's not alive, with the catalogs and the paraphernalias and the other businesses. And in fact, I think Bob Andy worked as A&R and I think a producer at the Bob Marley Foundation as well, at the Bob Marley studio. So you see how things work out in terms of one icon to another icon to a legend. Yeah, Bob Andy did work with the Bob Marley Foundation as well, the Bob Marley group, the Bob Marley movement. So Shaggy is the richest living reggae artist right now. And this information that I'm giving you, it was updated this year, March 2020. All right, so here I go. I have two more for you. There are more than 200 reggae festivals around the world each year. How much of them come to Jamaica? How much of them really would say, you know, and I said this a few weeks ago to somebody, that you have all these reggae festivals across Europe. I've been to Europe to quite a few reggae festivals, and trust me, people, if we can pull that, tourism is one of Jamaica's biggest way of bringing in revenue. And if we're supposed to have all around, all year round, a 365, I wouldn't say 365, but you know what I mean. Have it that way, that bring in more tourists, not to only go into the resort towns and support the rest of the hotel chains, but celebrate, embrace the music. It's 200 reggae festivals that, you know, so this means that European, Asians, Americans are benefiting from our music. The artists, they are benefiting, but then again, it's only a small amount, because how much artists can travel around the world to go to these 200 reggae festivals? But guess what? If you bring it to Jamaica, you're forcing all the millions of reggae lovers across the world to come to Jamaica. It will also create employment, not short-term, but long-term employment for Jamaicans. So people, I feel like we're not looking in the right direction when it comes to tourism. I think we need to inject these reggae festivals in Jamaica. Yes, we have jazz and blues and we have reggae sumfest, and of course, yeah, but after that, what happens? You know what I mean? Anyhow, here's my final one. Ian Fleming wrote all 14 James Bond novels while he was living in Jamaica. This is why they're so great. I guess he was smoking on some pot. He was smoking on some stuff in Portland. Ian, big up yourself. All right, so this is a fact, that Michael Jackson was born in Jamaica. Don't argue with me. Did you know that Michael Jackson was born in Jamaica? And he was born in Portland, to be exact. That's not a lie. Michael Jackson was born in Jamaica. I know a lot of you scratching your heads right now and be like, yo, what the hell is this man talking about? But anyhow, I gotta hop out of here. I gotta hop out of here. This has been another episode of Val's Views Live. Catch me right here every week, every Wednesday, 9 to 10 p.m. right here on Styles FM 96.1, 96.5, 96.7 on the FM dial. St. Mary, St. Anne, of course, you don't know. Portland, St. Thomas, big respect, and of course, thanks for tuning in. And because it is April 1st, I just spooked you with that, yeah. Michael Jackson never born in Jamaica. I just felt like putting that one in because it's April 1st, All Fools Day, and everybody. I don't think anybody took this day for a joke because of the coronavirus, and I like that. All right, people, keep safe. Jamaica, keep safe. Love y'all, one and all. Big respect, Mr. Jackson, UL, Cassidy, big up yourself, Digital T, all the other disc jocks, all the other personalities on Styles FM. Thank y'all for having me. It's a pleasure. See y'all next week. Same time, same place. I'm out of here.
To be true to one another, to be kind and gentle to each other, to give your best when it's asked of you, to do what you have to do when you're supposed to. You've got to feel it. You've got to feel the soul down inside of you. You've got to feel it. Oh. If you got to feel it, you've got to be clean. You got to make it straight. You can't be lean. To share the joys togetherness can bring.